Hello and a very warm welcome to our new show. You're watching Beyond the Boundary and I'm Chetan Narula. और ये जो नया शो है इसमें हम बात करेंगे जो भी कुछ हो रहा है क्रिकेट के वर्ल्ड में. वर्ल्ड क्रिकेट इज गोइंग टू बी आवर सब्जेक्ट एंड इट्स गोइंग टू बी अ फ्री व्हीलिंग कॉन्वर्सेशन जिसमें आप भी हमारे साथ जुड़ सकते हैं और हमें अपने सवाल और कमेंट्स भेज सकते हैं. एंड वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट, लाइक आई सेड, many things, whatever is going on actively in the world of cricket. और obviously इस बारे में बात करने के लिए हमारे पास we're going to have some really good names, and let's start with bringing those names in. First of all, we have K Shriniwas Rao, who is the sports editor of Times Group. Then we have Sahil Malhotra, who's just joined Times Group as a sports editor. We have Gaurav Gupta, who is a well-established sports reporter with Times Group as well. So today is the first episode. I'm Chetan Narula. पहले मैं अपना भी introduction देता हूँ या कोई और देगा मेरा introduction? Sahil, how about you give my introduction?
Chetan Narula, the man who keeps donning different hats, and now he has run out of a hat.
Different hats.
He's without a hat right now. He's standing
Yeah.
in front of a guy who's not wearing a hat because that guy is bald in that picture. So that
Bald,
is Chetan
and that
Narula.
was
No,
and
I'm
that was an
talking about
amazing
MS.
picture.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about
MS Dhoni.
MS behind you. Yes.
Yes, MS Dhoni and Sachin Tendulkar, of course. I think Gaurav and Srini were both at this game when Sachin retired in Wankhede. So like I said, we will be having freewheeling conversations, and this is a good day to start this show, Beyond the Boundary. First of all, Srinivas Rao, Group Sports Editor, Times of India. What is this show going to be about? This has been your baby. We've all added to the creative vision that you had. क्या हमारा जो ऑडियंस है वो एक्सपेक्ट करेगा इस शो में?
क्या विराट कोहली और रोहित शर्मा के बाहर जाने के बाद T20 में आएगा मजा? ये देखने के लिए जानिए, ये जानने के लिए देखिए टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया का क्रिकेट शो. I'm kidding, but what I'm trying to say here is that which is what we are trying to bring to the table is a bit of intellect here, is a bit of maza, have fun. मेरे लिए तो the evening show, Chetan, you, me, Sahil, we've been doing this for a while now. For me, it was the daily ritual of, or a weekly ritual of coming and sitting in front of my laptop every evening and we having fun talking cricket. So, and then engaging with the crowd and kind of, interacting with them, answering their questions. I'm looking forward to that. क्या नाम था तुम्हारे दोस्त का? Ravi Shankar.
Ravi
To come
Shankar.
and join
Yeah,
the show.
I'm just texting him so that he can join us.
And there you go. So you can join the, asking you the weirdest of questions and be having great fun at that. So that's exactly what I'm looking forward to, having fun. And while I'd like to add one more thing, this show, kind of is featured around what the Times of India, the country's leading newspaper, the country's leading media platform, what they do, in terms of, nobody covers sport to the extent in terms of the volume that they do. So, we are glad to have people who write for the Times of India appearing on our show. We have Gaurav Gupta with us here today, who was in Gwalior covering the match yesterday. Obviously, these guys keep traveling. Nobody is watching more cricket than these guys. They're everywhere all the time. So, it's a real asset to have these people on our show. So, welcome, Gaurav.
Right. So, Gaurav, welcome to the show. You're muted. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Thanks very much for having me on the show. Sounds like great fun. Talking cricket, obviously our favorite sport, and obviously just fresh off the match last night. Not much to sort of cover there because it was pretty much one-way traffic.
Actually, there was. So let's start. I'll just interject. So let's start with yesterday's game. We'll have the scorecard and the summary of yesterday's game. 1-0, a fairly easy win for India. ज़्यादा headache नहीं हुआ. श्रीनी ने जो शुरुआत की थी ना शो की कि क्या विराट कोहली और रोहित शर्मा के बिना T20 देखने में मजा आएगा, उसी के साथ शुरुआत करते हैं गौरव. मजा आया बिना रोहित और विराट के मैच देखने में?
डेफिनेटली जिस तरह से रोहित ने खेला कानपुर में पहली 2 बॉलों में उसने जो छक्के लगाए उससे तो लगा कि रोहित जो है कहीं ना कहीं आज भी T20 का उसके अंदर अभी बाकी है. But I mean, coming back to the kind of fireworks India produced, I think while chasing the target, it was just 127, but the way they went about it showed the kind of approach they're going to have, in the post Rohit era, जो शायद रोहित ही set करके गया उसका template, and then to see the way Sanju Samson started off, and I was very happy for him because उस बेचारे को शायद उस तरह से run नहीं मिला है जैसा उसको मिलना चाहिए था. And Abhishek Sharma, of course, was was his usual belligerent self till he got run out. And he obviously looks an exciting prospect. And then there was Mayank Yadav and his debut, which was very impressive. And then Varun Chakravarti's grand comeback, fairy tale comeback after being 3 years on the sideline. So lots that happened was good. And obviously Hardik Pandya, the way he sort of went after the ball, hammer and tongs, and Surya Kumar Yadav. So it was all pretty exciting, all in all, in that sense, if you're a hardcore Indian cricket fan.
Shrini, just coming to you. Before that, it was at the new stadium. 2010 के बाद पहली बार.
Just mute him because.
Yeah. Okay. After 2010, this is the first time an international game has gone to Gwalior. Last time was at that old stadium within the city, जहाँ पे Sachin Tendulkar got 200. So just tell us about the vibes. Naya stadium. How is the new stadium? It's again on the outskirts of the city, if I'm right. Gaurav?
Yeah, the stadium is on the outskirts of the city. That's correct. It's on the Mumbai Agra highway, and it's sort of a bit of a task going there. In the sense that there was, because of the whole local threat to the match from a right wing organization, there was the crowds were sort of told to get off at one point and they had to walk all the way through. But you know how cricket mad people in India are, और उसके बावजूद बहुत हमने जबरदस्त भीड़ देखी मैच में लोगों की, और एक अच्छा वेन्यू लग रहा है. अभी काफी और डेवलपमेंट वहां पे बाकी है, बट ऑब्वियसली क्रेडिट टू Jyotirdaya Scindia, I think, who's played a key role in getting cricket back to Gwalior after 14 years. And obviously we know what happened in 2010. Sachin Tendulkar ka double hundred, the first double hundred ever in one day cricket was scored there. So Gwalior का एक पुराना नाता है इंडियन क्रिकेट से, एंड आई एम श्योर द वे मयंक यादव एंड नीतीश रेड्डी दो लोगों का डेब्यू हुआ, तो पीपल इन ग्वालियर वेरी हैप्पी अबाउट इट, दैट ग्वालियर, सर मेरे को लोगों ने बोला कि देखिए ग्वालियर दोबारा इंडिया के मैप, क्रिकेट के मैप पे आ गया. तो उससे पता चलता है कि people have that craze, and stadium is a bit of a similar looking to how I think the Pune stadium is, on the outskirts, khula. Obviously some provisions are not made by our cricket administrators in terms of धूप से बचने के लिए चीजें और वो सब, but otherwise on the lot looks a decent place to play cricket.
I'll just say कि Pune is not my favorite ground, as Sahil also knows, So ये जो last में आपने comparison कर दिया ना, वहाँ पे थोड़ी सी बात खराब हो गई. But yeah, it's good to hear that people are saying कि Gwalior is back on the international cricket map. But yeah, I really hope कि Pune से थोड़ा better develop करें उसे, because my God, Pune is probably the worst venue for cricket in the country. Shrini, you tell me, you switched on the TV last night. What did you expect when Rohit and Virat were not there? It's almost like, ठीक है, Sri Lanka series has already happened, but Sri Lanka में Rohit and Virat were there for the ODIs. You had that anticipation. This is something totally different. Virat has just came for the Test series, didn't score too many runs. And he's देखो मैं already creating so much controversy when I'm saying Virat didn't score too many runs in the Test series. My point is, what did you make of it? Without Rohit, without Virat, we are firmly in the post Rohit Virat era in T20 cricket.
I thought we were there almost a year and a half ago. Then suddenly everything.
Yeah, but it didn't happen, right? It didn't happen, and we've had conversations कि World Cup जीतना है, World Cup जीत गए वो लोग. So yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, okay, I mean, second retirement, whatever, but then this time for a permanent one, I'd say. See, I don't think I was watching yesterday's game. I switched on the television with any kind of expectation. All right, primarily because पहली बात तो मुझे देखना था कि combination क्या होगा, कौन किधर खेलने वाला है. I had no idea. I just casually switched on, and I think even the next few T20s, after we finish the T20s against Bangladesh, we go to South Africa, right?
Yeah.
हम South Africa जा रहे हैं. So whether it's this series at home or whether the T20s in South Africa, I'm just going to try and see what exactly is Gautam Gambhir thinking. More than what this team is kind of. I'm not going to give a lot of importance to who's opening, who's not. I heard Gaurav say he's so happy for संजू सैमसन, एंड व्हाई नॉट, कि फाइनली हमको, मुझे अगर ये लग रहा है कि चलो अब मुझे शायद एक लंबा रन मिलेगा. द पॉइंट इज, there's Sanju, there's Abhishek, then there's Yashasvi, then there's Rituraj. There are enough people. So what I'm looking forward to over the next few T20 internationals is all these boys getting a fair run, not just a Sanju, not just a Yashasvi. And that I am absolutely willing to believe Gautam Gambhir, is the right man to get that done.
Yeah.
No, so that is something I'm looking forward to.
I'll just it's my favorite topic, as Sahil also knows. He was smiling. Sanju Samson. Sahil, let's bring you in. Look, I when I heard Sky say कि Sanju Samson को हम तीनों मैच देंगे, ओपनिंग करेगा, my first thoughts were कि यशस्वी और शुभमन गिल कहाँ बैटिंग करेंगे जब 2026 का वर्ल्ड कप आएगा. But then again, that's too far off. Yeah. And now we are playing two formats simultaneously, so all of that is good. You need a backup. He's obviously being given an opportunity. Let's just put it like that. Sanju Samson is finally being given a worthy opportunity, या जो भी है, or maybe a last opportunity. इसके बाद शायद कोई भी justice for Sanju Samson hashtag नहीं चला पाएगा. But again, I'm not going to judge him very, very quickly. But it's just you're chasing 130 odd. आपने power play finish कर लिया है. You're batting on what 20-25 out of 19 balls. You're set. You've got to start. फिर वही छक्का लगाने के चक्कर में आप आउट हो गए यार. Run banao. You got that opportunity. Make it count. Finish the game. Was that disappointing again from Sanju?
Absolutely, Chetan. And I think whenever it comes to Sanju Samson, I never see the bigger picture in mind. Even right now, you just mentioned those two names, Yashasvi Jaiswal and Sanju and Shubman Gill. The moment they're back in the mix, you need a keeper who can bat in the middle order. You don't need a keeper who can bat in the top order. Yeah, even if you wanted a stopgap solution, it was high time you should have rewarded someone like Ishan Kishan for doing what he did in the last 3 months. It was come out and play red ball cricket. Yes, he's not doing anyone any favor, but you penalized him for not playing red ball cricket. He went, played the Bucci Babu. He went, played the Dilip Trophy. Looked good in a couple of knocks. I don't think he did anything wrong in white ball cricket to not be anywhere. So he probably deserved that chance ahead of Sanju Samson. अगर आपको stopgap solution ही करना था, because clearly this is not a long-term goal, right? Sanju won't be opening or won't be anywhere close to the top 4. It's already packed. Yeah. And right now, the way they are packing Hardik Pandya, Riyan Parag, Nitish Kumar Reddy, the all-rounders who can also chip in with the ball. There's no space for a Sanju Samson because he just can't hit sixes from ball 1. Rajasthan Royals में is too comfortable, bullying the power play in the first 6 overs. वो 3 नंबर पे बैटिंग करने आ रहा है. तो जब आपको जितेश जैसा प्लेयर ही चाहिए या जुरेल जैसा ही चाहिए, तो संजू सैमसन को 3 फेयरवेल मैच देने के लिए लेके गए हो क्या? अगर नहीं देने के लिए लेकर गए तो ईशान किशन ने किसको नाराज कर दिया इतना कि उसको क्रिकेट ही नहीं मिल रहा है? What wrong has he done?
Ishan Kishan question mark is very different. I think it is going to be one of our major stories one of these days. So we know what's happening there. Somebody is very upset. He's not coming back right now.
Who with somebody?
Just keep it to you. Tell me.
No, I don't know. I'm asking with somebody because all those somebodies are out of the squad now, right?
मेरा थोड़ा सा रोल चेंज हो गया है इस शो में. मेरा काम है सवाल पूछना. So you tell me, who is that somebody that he's...
I'm saying that people who had a problem with Ishan, whatever, not adhering to some basic rules and not playing enough cricket, not playing enough domestic cricket and all that, people who had that problem, unless they've left a message to Gigi and said याद रखना हमने जो किया था वही फॉलो करना टेम्पलेट, मतलब unless that is the case, जिनको प्रॉब्लम था वो तो चले गए हैं बाहर, और वो लड़के ने थोड़ा बहुत एक्साइटमेंट और एंथुसियाज्म दिखाया भी है in trying to kind of stick to the fact that he needs to play domestic cricket. खेल रहा है बेचारा या ना बेचारा पता नहीं, बट खेल रहा है. एंड मैं तो ना संजू को क्रिटिसाइज करूंगा ना मैं काइंड ऑफ संजू भी कोई बात नहीं है, 150 के स्ट्राइक रेट से मारा है उसने रन. एंड एक नई शुरुआत, नया कोच है, नई शुरुआत है, हो सकता है नए प्लान्स है. रिमेंबर द फैक्ट दैट गौतम इज अ ह्यूज बैकर ऑफ संजू. Huge backer.
Yeah, okay. So
publicly spoken about Sanju in the past. So again, I mean, he's likely to kind of back his favorites. Every coach will do it.
Okay, so here's a question to all three of you. ठीक है, and my answer is very very simple. आप तीनों के बाद मैं भी अपना जवाब दे दूंगा. Sanju, yes, he's being back. He's being given this opportunity and everything. Do you see Sanju? And it's still very far off. Let's be very honest, still very far off. The 26th T20 World Cup is happening in India, and obviously Gautam Gambhir has started that process. That's the next World Cup, and India will be defending champions. ठीक है, Champions Trophy है, सब कुछ है, World Test Championship है, सब कुछ है, उसको साइड रखो. But World Cup is World Cup, right? T20 World Cup, India will be defending champions. New era, which is probably going to define. It is going to define Indian cricket, क्योंकि रोहित नहीं है, विराट नहीं है, all of that jazz is going to be there. We need
And
new superstars.
You're playing at home, Chetan.
You're playing at home. The pressure is immense. Do you see Sanju Samson leading Team India, opening the batting, leading as in leading in terms of agar aap opening kar rahe ho, you're leading the batting lineup, right? Do you see Sanju Samson as your lead batter in that 26 T20 World Cup? We are still in 24, lot of time, but do you see that happening? Srini, let's start with you, Sahil, and then
No, I mean,
Gaurav, very, very
26
quickly.
is too far. I'm not going to
Yeah.
look at anything from a 2026 perspective. You know what I'm going to look at? I'm going to look at we getting our T20 template right. You know, for the longest time हम बात कर रहे हैं और हम काफी समय से इस चीज की बात कर रहे हैं कि जिस तरीके से इंडिया T20 को अप्रोच करती है, वो अप्रोच हम वर्ल्ड कप जीते हैं तो मैं जो भी कहूंगा वो अगेंस्ट द ग्रेन ऑफ लॉजिक होगा. We are World Cup winners, so if I say anything right now, it's going to be like on the lines of, क्या बात कर रहा है यार, हम तो टूर्नामेंट जीत के आए. ठीक है, but I'll still wait and put my point forward. Our T20 template has not been on the lines that was like kind of required and summed up. So to kind of sum it up, I would like to see a fresh, a new and a worthy T20 template falling in place. That's what I'm looking at.
Sahil, T20 template, are they going for aggressive cricket? Matlab, players changed, templates changed. Yashasvi Jaiswal very different from Sanju. What is the thinking here?
No, I absolutely love the way they're clearly a focus on, and Gigi has been there. He was there in Gwalior. You would have seen that from close quarters. Clearly, there's a lot of focus by the other Gigi to have a rich pool of bowlers. So that is very much there. There's a conscious effort in that they want a rich pool of bowlers. There are 6 to 7 bowling options in the mix here, and then you have tier away quick bowlers in Mayank Yadav. Harshit Yadav is in the squad. He can bowl at decent pace. Arshdeep is looking sharp. Squad ka makeup acha lag raha hai. And as Srini said, I think I agree with that. Going forward, all we need to see is that right template which is required. Sanju Samson, will he be there 2026? He'll be there on social media. People will be fighting for him. But I don't see him even making the 20 of the 2026 T20 World Cup. Dhruv Jurel, Jitesh Sharma, probably if he has a couple of good IPLs. Dhruv Jurel, Rishabh Pant, Ishan Kishan. You just can't look beyond these three.
Okay, just before we go to Gaurav. Yeah, here is Ravi Shankar Kumar. Show shuru hua, and Ravi Shankar is here. Hello, Ravi Shankar. Thanks for joining us. Paku Nath Singh bhi hai hamare sath. We'll take his comment as well. Your thoughts on Sunil Gavaskar latest comment? Okay, Gigi, aap batao. Gigi, namesake Gautam Gambhir. Sunil Gavaskar says, the legendary Sunil Gavaskar, and obviously he has very sharp opinions. He says a lot of credit has been given for Kanpur ka jo attacking cricket khela to Gautam Gambhir. What do you make of that?
Gigi,
you're muted. Yeah.
Okay.
Unmuted him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, coach का बहुत बड़ा role होता है कि how a team plays its cricket, And I thought in that respect, I'm sorry to say, but in the World Cup final, there was a classic example where perhaps we should not have kept our, taken our foot off the accelerator, which we did after we lost Rohit Sharma and our openers quickly, and we sort of went into a shell. And then KL Rahul did what he did, and we ended up with a extremely below par total for that pitch. So I think that is where Gigi, my namesake, Gautam Gambhir, will make a difference because he is somebody who will look for playing attacking cricket, and that I think will also reflect in the kind of wickets we play at home, hopefully, and leave this whole akhada business aside and, not play on extremely turning tracks, which favor our spinners way too much, because Gautam Gambhir, when he was a Delhi captain also, I remember that he would play in the Roshan Ara on a green track and, sort of say that if my players have to play for India, they should be able to prove themselves on these tracks in terms of batting and, bowling as well. So I think Gautam Gambhir का ये definitely template था और रोहित शर्मा का भी था, I think to a great extent, because the captain leads from the front. और जिस तरह से मैंने बोला पहले कि पहले 2 बॉल में उसने छक्के लगाए, and with Yashasvi Jaiswal batting the way that he is, right now I think along with Travis Head and maybe Harry Brook and 1 or 2 other batsmen, the most dangerous batsmen in world cricket right now, most dangerous openers.
Harry Brook का ये है कि उसको इंडिया आके ना खेलने दो थोड़ा स्पिन में. I know he is very dangerous on flat on patta tracks. ठीक है, अभी पाकिस्तान में भी वो तोड़ेगा, लेकिन I mean look at the pitches in Pakistan, but that's different. पहले रविशंकर का बाकू नाथ सिंह कह रहे हैं हाय सर, हेलो आप अपना क्वेश्चन भेजिए, सिर्फ हाय सर मत भेजिए. We are very glad that you're joining us. लेकिन आपको कोई भी सवाल पूछना है मैचेस के बारे में, किसी भी चीज के बारे में, आप अपना सवाल भेजिए. We'll be very happy to take your questions. And we'll take Abhi Ravi Shankar to always sends his comments. After watching test matches yesterday, T20I match was looking boring. Well, what do you have to say about that, Sahil? Kanpur was obviously amazing. थोड़ा सा reaction over the top चला गया. कि it was defining for Rohit Sharma's captaincy. I am somebody who believes in trophies, as you know. जब तक World Test Championship trophy नहीं आ जाती, nothing is being defined. I think the bigger test will be how they play in Australia. Can they play in Australia the same way? We are getting more comments. Thank you everybody for joining us. Keep sending in your comments. You tell me, what did you make of it? Kanpur test, the aggression, and then what Ravi Shankar says, after watching that, T20 was boring. Obviously, this is somebody who loves baseball cricket.
Yeah. No, I think
Ravi Shankar loves baseball cricket.
I just kind of hate that word, having covered those last 3 India-England tests. Yeah. I covered the last 3 India-England tests, and the way it was just repeated by the England camp over and over again during their pre-post-match pressers. It looked like they were doing a self-lip service of some sorts, just to put that word out there anytime, every time they could. Now, having said that, I think India gave a very good account of what actually baseball should be. Again, I hate that word. I think India showed that counter-attacking cricket can still keep Test cricket alive no matter how much time is left in the game. You literally had 2.5 days to yourself, right? And
made the game, yeah.
You kind of took 50-60 overs, went hammer and tongs over anything and everything which came your way. Bangladesh were kind of put into a shell, right? The moment, and Gigi said, the moment Rohit hit those 2 sixes, वो चेहरा देख के ऐसा लगा कि भाई हवा एकदम टाइट हो गया यार, कि ये तो अब रुकने ही नहीं वाले हैं. And from there on, they had spread out fields, Virat Kohli doing what he did, KL Rahul playing those reverse cups and reverse sweeps, ones into twos. That was proper cricket यार. गेम को चलाया. जब वक्त ने गेम को रोका, बरसात ने गेम को रोका, यूपीसीए के इस ग्राउंड ने गेम को रोका. यूपीसीए टेक्निकली गलत वर्ड है क्योंकि वो ग्राउंड का ओनरशिप का अलग मामला चालू है. But again, there were forces at play which were kind of stalling progress, but India took the game forward, and I think that is the future of Test cricket, which will keep people like Ravi Shankar, myself, Gigi, Srini, everyone glued to the TV sets, right? Everyone is pushing for that result. That result becomes important.
We're getting more comments. Let's start with that. There is Upendra Singh who's asking Shami update. So who can give that? Gigi, do you have an update on Mohammad Shami? When can we expect to see him back? I think we will expect to see him in the Australia squad, definitely, won't we? लेकिन उससे पहले रणजी खेलना पड़ेगा. 11 अक्टूबर से शुरू हो रहा है. एक सेकंड, you're muted. एक सेकंड.
Yeah, correct.
Go ahead.
से रणजी ट्रॉफी शुरू हो गई है. चैलेंज है उसका. रणजी ट्रॉफी जो 11 तारीख से चालू हो रही है, और आई थिंक वेयर इफ ही टर्न्स अप फॉर बंगाल, I think that will be a big indication, obviously, that he's going to Australia. But I think he would take his time, he would bide his time, and I would not be surprised if he joins the Australia tour a bit later also, say closer to the first test, or maybe misses the first test and then joins the team. Because वो जिस तरह का bowler है, अगर वो हमारे को आखिरी 3 टेस्ट मैच के लिए मिल गया ना भाई, तो बहुत है. मतलब with him and Bumrah going hammer and tongs, I think we'll be the favorites again in this series.
Sahil, your thoughts on this?
No, I was like categorically told that his rehab is on track. His rehab is on track, and the initial target which they had set for him. So Bangladesh was the first target for Shami. The rehab, as it turns out, it takes more time than usual. It has been taking, and right now, for people in the BCCI, all the stakeholders involved with the Indian cricket team have set that New Zealand series as their goal. How it turns out, how it pans out, it remains on Shami's body and the people who are monitoring him. He's in safe hands. He's under.
No, but he has to play some cricket before going to Australia. आप उसको ऐसे Australia उठा के नहीं लेके जा सकते.
हाँ, absolutely. So Chetan, we have at least, if I'm not wrong, we'll be playing 3 A games before that test series, right? So even those games present an opportunity for Shami to go and test himself if that doesn't happen in the New Zealand series. So abhi matlab it's too early to kind of rule him out of anything and everything. He's very much alive and kicking and raring to make that comeback and make that red ball talk again.
Okay, I'll ask the producer to put in the Bangladesh का जो India का T20 squad है on the screen. Spidey has a question. We'll come to you, Spidey. Please wait. Let's talk about this squad, this Bangladesh ka squad. यहाँ पर एक नाम आपको दिखेगा, and that is Mayank Yadav. He's made a sensational debut. I would term it sensational. पहला over maiden डाला. He's working up good pace. Gigi, somebody who loves him at LSG. So I was very happy to see Mayank Yadav make his debut. Let's get thoughts on that. What are we looking at with Mayank Yadav? Is he? I think मेरी पर्सनल ओपिनियन यही है कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया के लिए इट विल बी लिटिल टू अर्ली, बट कैन बी मिक्स थिंग्स अप. Srini, let's start with you. Mayank Yadav, what are we looking at with him?
For a boy, if what we saw in his debut, if that is the talent that we are looking at, and then what the kind of chatter that happened around when his debut happened. Sahil did a lot of reporting on kind of what was the biomechanics behind his action like. What were people with some sort of experience watching him having to say about his action, the pace that he was able to generate. From all the commentary that I could hear from the outside, here's what I think. For a boy that young, playing an inconsequential T20 match at home makes no sense to me. I would rather play a Mayank Yadav in red ball domestic cricket. That's exactly where I would like him to play. Bowl 8 overs, 10 overs in the whole day. Get your action right. Have the right kind of people looking at you. This format and the kind of what is the consequence, what is the importance of this series, other than Gautam Gambhir trying to figure out who are his men going to be, who are the top pool of 25-30 cricketers are going to be as he moves forward with his new responsibility. That inside his mind he'll keep figuring out. You at the start of this conversation said that Mayank is Gigi's bacha. Now if he's Gigi's bacha, obviously he understands where Mayank is coming from. Now, Gigi's responsibility, Gautam's responsibility as a coach has to stem from there. He has to put in that confidence in the Mayank Yadavs of the world, saying, do not waste your time playing this. I will put you somewhere else where you'll be taken care of, where you'll play slightly more quality cricket. And when the time comes, I'll make sure that you get your due. So this is where I think a line has to be drawn. And I don't see any importance why Mayank Yadav should be playing this format.
Right. Just a question to Sahil before we move ahead. He plays for Delhi, Mayank Yadav. Is he in the Delhi Ranji squad yet? Has the Delhi Ranji squad been announced?
So as things stand, he hasn't been cleared to play the longer format. And just adding to what Srini was saying, he mentioned biomechanics. The moment he completed 2 overs, the person Srini was trying to refer, I'll not take a name. I sent his video again to that same person who we had referred during that long piece which we did. And I just asked him one simple question. He's a very qualified biomechanics coach. And he told me, I asked him, coach, is there any significant change to the action? He said, nothing. I said, what do you see? And his response was very clear. He says the moment he pushes forward for those extra 5-6 kilometers per hour, he'll break down again. So again, I'll say it again. I've said it before. I've seen Mayank Yadav perform bowl quick from a very young age, but let's not get very excited until unless his body remains in that shape for the rigors of red ball cricket.
Yeah, Shri, just a comment from Upendra Singh. Sir Mayank even says he wants to play white ball because body is not ready for red ball. So yeah, let's end this discussion. Let's keep Mayank Yadav safe for white ball. There's a lot of white ball action coming up. और हम उसी के बारे में बात करते हैं. Okay, let's take this comment. So I mean, you know what? We'll take a few comments before we move into the women's cricket. वाला यहाँ पे बांकुनाथ सिंह कह रहे हैं, ये रुलाने वाली बात कर रहे हो यार आप. Why is 223 World Cup final seen as game India lost due to only themselves? भाई हम चारों वहां पे थे, मैं आपको गारंटी के साथ बता रहा हूँ, चारों आंसर देंगे आपका कि India lost that game due to themselves only. और वो कहानी ना 3 दिन पहले शुरू हुई थी. The ball started reversing, field placement, fielding were terrific. Absolute credit to Australia. लेकिन वो कहानी 3 दिन पहले शुरू हुई थी, पिच से शुरू हुई थी. साहिल, जी रोलर से एग्जैक्टली. जब आपने यूज्ड पिच नॉट अ फ्रेश पिच, यूज्ड पिच पे पहले बैटिंग करी और वो सब जो भी है. साहिल, जी डू यू वांट टू ऐड टू इट?
I'll allow Gigi loves Ahmedabad.
Gigi is muted. एक सेकंड.
Yeah, I've been there quite a few times and I love the new stadium. As does Pat Cummins, and unfortunately उसका love जो है वो हमारे love से ज़्यादा बड़ा निकला और उसने ट्रॉफी जीत ली हमारे से. लेकिन I think we shot ourselves in the foot in Ahmedabad on that pitch. You know, हम लोगों ने बहुत ज़्यादा पिच जो है उस पर डिपेंड कर गए और ये मेरा एक राहुल द्रविड़ एरा से प्रॉब्लम था. जिस तरह से राहुल द्रविड़ हर एक मैच के पहले भाग भाग के जा रहे थे एयरपोर्ट से पिच की तरफ सीधा ग्राउंड पे जाके और पिच को देख रहे थे. एंड एवरी और अगर ऐसी पिच बनाई तो आपको आर अश्विन को खिलाना था. अगर आपको ऐसी पिच बना के यही खेलना था खेल तो अपने आर अश्विन को क्यों नहीं खिलाया? Baffled me completely. You know, you got your combo wrong completely.
Absolutely. Great answer.
And then you should have stuck to Mohammad Shami at one change. Why did you bowl Shami with the new ball? You should have had Siraj so that उनके दिमाग में रहता कि यार Shami आ रहा, because Shami was the bowler of that World Cup, not even Bumrah. So I think we made quite, and obviously the way हम लोग बिल्कुल ही अपनी उसमें घुस गए कि बस किसी तरह हम 230-40 बना लें, शायद कुछ मैच बन जाए. So that was again a big mistake, and our spinners were nullified once Travis had got going.
We have a few more questions. We'll come to that in just a bit. We have a few questions. Let's start with Spidey. He's been waiting for a while. Do you think BCCI should have scheduled more ODIs ahead of Champions Trophy? We have 3 ODIs with England before the Champions Trophy. The schedule is such. Maybe this could have been an ODI series. I don't know. Sahil, what do you think? Srini, what do you think?
I think there's no space for bilateral ODIs. यार बिकता कहाँ है अब और दिखता कहाँ है? देखना किसको है? अब तो ODI World Cup is fighting for relevance right now. कि अगला World Cup कैसे बेचना है, क्या करना है?
You know, which reminds me that 2025 Champions Trophy is going to be such a disaster. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, thankfully, the only good.
Is it happening in Pakistan? पहले ये बताओ. Is it happening in Pakistan?
Some of it would. Some of it will.
Okay.
Beyond my pay grade to answer. अभी सर मैं बोलूँगा तो Home Ministry का बोलेगा.
ऐसा है देखो, pay grade आपका बहुत ऊंचा है, but you don't want to answer. We'll have a different.
The point is, what I'm trying to say is that the 2025 Champions Trophy is a disaster in terms of the format, in terms of the scheduling, every little way. And by the way, nobody, you go and ask, you हमारे लिए क्या हम क्रिकेट डिस्कस करते हैं, we love the game, तो हमको तो आप कुछ भी दिखा दो हम बैठ के देखेंगे. आप इंडस्ट्री में पूछिए, nobody wants it. Even if you had to do this, do it in a T20 format is what the industry itself is saying. It's a losing proposition.
Okay. This is a question for you from Shubh Gupta. What is your thought about the new NCA and upcoming indoor cricket academies in Northeast? Will NCA be known other than Rehab Center? First of all, NCA बहुत बड़ा उन्होंने project लिया हुआ है. It's going to be, a development center now, not even just an NCA. It's going to be a development center.
BCCI
Center of Excellence. Yeah, Center of Excellence. And I think it's coming up really well. Srini, your remarks on this?
I mean, more than me, Gaurav Gupta and Sahil Malhotra
will take everybody.
Kind of talk about it. I'll just say 2 to 3 things. Number one, I love the fact that it is open to every elite sports person in the country, not just cricketers. Mr. Jay Shah, the BCCI secretary, had come to the offices of the Times of India group. He sat with the entire team of reporters and he explained what all was being planned. So this was one salient feature. The other one is I love the fact that NCA is finally expanding on that age-old idea of going regional, where the infrastructure that they have come up with in the Northeast and what they're trying to do around it is spectacular. And once they become public and once it becomes a bigger talking point, we'll all get to know what I'm saying. So this is 2. And the third part is that, this time the BCCI, see what happened was for the longest time in the NCA, what the BCCI of the erstwhile era time used to do was play musical chairs in terms of director isko bana diye. It used to be that card, कि आपको खुश रखना है, आप NCA जाके कुर्सी ले लीजिए, आप director बन जाइए, आप ये बन जाइए, आप वो बन जाइए. So for now, for once, I see some kind of professionalism coming in place. The last time we saw, I forget the name, former England fast bowling coach, Gaurav, what's his name? जो NCA head करने गए थे. Ashes winning coach 2005 the bowling coach यार जिसके under I can't hear you.
Troy Cooley.
He's still there. The appointment of Troy Cooley, whether it worked or not is secondary, but the appointment of Troy Cooley was such a nice thing. Here is a guy who changed the face of England and how they would kind of play at home. What we saw in the 2005 Ashes. Since then, England playing at home or anywhere in the world has not been the same. With their fast bowlers. So the thought process has been very good. and I'm sure good things are waiting to happen. Further good things are waiting to happen. I can tell you for a fact that what the NCA is also trying to do is set up its own science center in place, their own medical system and apparatus that will, kind of look into every aspect of sport at the highest level, biomechanics, everything,
Hmm.
everything. So it's work in progress, but I'm seeing good things happening finally.
Gigi and Sahil, quickly, what are your thoughts on the new NCA?
No, I think both Gigi and Srini would have covered NCA far more than me. But
Hmm.
one thing which I've gathered from speaking to the players last decade or so, पहले एनसी जाते हो ना लोग घबराते थे, कतराते थे कि यार एक तो ऐसा लगता था कोई दवाई घर जा रहे हो दवाई लेने के लिए. But right now there has been a very conscious effort to change that image and that rebranding of calling it a center of excellence, where you call that place where you can hone your skills, come and do your off-season camps. India can probably have the regular camps instead of having half-a-set arrangements in Allur or Bengaluru. I think there's one place जहाँ पे आप indoor, outdoor, multiple तरीके की मिट्टी है, outfield है, सब कुछ है. What else do you need? And it was high time India needed something like that. It has been in place. Australia जाओ, England जाओ, हर जगह आपको center of excellence देखने को मिलते हैं. So it's high time India में ऐसा था और ये बात क्लियर हो गया है. मैं बहुत साफ शब्दों में बोलूंगा, जो हमारे यहाँ नजफगढ़ बेल्ट के लड़के मेरे को बोलते थे, वो दवाई खाना नहीं रह गया जहां आप इंजेक्शन लगवाने जाते हो. You can go there, you can go for a swim, you'll get a ice bath, you'll get a nice sauna session. This is what high performance athletes need, and this was something which was due for a very very long time, और 5-7 साल लेट आया, but बहुत खुल के आया, बहुत दमदार आया.
Gigi, you want to add something to that?
Well, it has its teething problems also. Let's not forget, थोड़ा सा शहर के दूर है और काफी मतलब you have to see how much the infrastructure is being used. 45 practice pitches, 3 grounds, a very big gym. I hope the players make the best use of these facilities. But यार इसके साथ आप कानपुर में टेस्ट मैच नहीं करा सकते बॉस. अगर आपने नया एनसीए बनाया है तो आप एक बढ़िया जगह टेस्ट मैचेस भी कराओ, ठीक है. और आप वहां 2 दिन मैच धुल रहा है, प्रॉपर फैसिलिटीज नहीं है, लोग सोशल मीडिया पे गाली दे रहे हैं बीसीसीआई को, तो यार यू हैव टू चूज योर टेस्ट सेंटर्स आल्सो वाइजली. आप फिर सब जगह अपग्रेड करो ना अपने आप को. तो मतलब फिर मैं फोटो ट्वीट कर रहा हूँ अगर कि भाई बीसीसीआई वहां पर नया एनसीए खोल रहा है, लोग मेरे को कह रहे हैं लेकिन कानपुर में टेस्ट मैच हो रहा है, वहां तो जरा देख ले भाई वहां क्या हो रहा है, ठीक है. तो यू नीड एन ऑलराउंड अपग्रेडेशन.
I think very
इट्स एन
important.
एक्सीलेंट थिंग what
Yeah,
has
no,
happened.
absolutely.
It's a great step, but you need a holistic approach towards sort of being the cricket leaders that you are, in every
Yeah,
aspect. And new NC is obviously a start there.
and Ashwin made a very very important point. Just to carry on from there, कि आपके एक specific test centers होने चाहिए. You go to any country, they play their test cricket in those test centers. उससे fans को भी थोड़ा सा in terms of watching the game at those grounds, it makes it a little easier, and these are they become your traditional test centers. It becomes almost like a festive atmosphere. आप मेलबर्न पे देख लो, आप लॉर्ड्स पे देख लो, आप ओवल पे देख लो, कहीं भी देख लो. So I think that is something that India should also try to replicate. But यहाँ पर, as we all know, you need to distribute the matches for whatever reasons. This is a very important question. इन्होंने अपना नाम तो नहीं दिखाया है. Successful future me. Will these streams continue to happen? Yes, absolutely. We are starting. इन्होंने पूछा, what do you mean by episode 1? Episode 1 means this is the first episode. Beyond the Boundary. This is our show. This is on the Times का YouTube का link. And hopefully all of you can join us every day 6 to 7. We'll be joining you. We'll be talking about cricket and we'll be happy to take your questions. Monday to Friday we'll be coming with this show and we'll be talking about different things. Okay, so
Tomorrow.
In that sense, every day, Monday to Friday,
we are hoping people join tomorrow. We have some exciting
stuff
coming
tomorrow. And just to set the stage for what is coming tomorrow, Sahil, who is Mumbai Indians going to retain for the mega auction? let's set the platform for tomorrow.
मजा आएगा. 4 तो क्लियर है ना, 4 के बाद 5वां भी क्लियर है. मेरी नजर में तो क्लियर है. अब ये लोग क्या करते हैं वो खुद
नाम लो यार. अब 4-5 मत बोलो, अब नाम गिनाओ. अब आप
Hardik Pandya is my first pick. Rohit Sharma is my second pick. One gets 18, the other gets 14. Third player जो आपका तीसरा पिक रहने वाला है 11 करोड़ वाला, तिलक वर्मा लाओ या ईशान किशन लाओ. फिर जो आईपीएल रिटेंशन का ब्यूटीफुल सा रूल है जो एमआई को बहुत बेनिफिट करने वाला है, चौथे के अंदर दोबारा से आप जसप्रीत बुमराह को ले आओ, ही बिकम्स योर टॉप पिक अगेन एट 18 करोड़। जो पांचवा प्लेयर लाओगे सूर्य कुमार यादव को ले आओ, हु बिकम्स योर 14 करोड़ पिक देन। 14 ही है ना, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, 18 14 11। So 18 14 11 के तहत Mumbai Indians is the only team which benefits the most out of this setup. That's what we wrote at TOI.com a couple of days back, because they get to kind of polish all those player egos. Not good, not bad, I'm saying. हर player का ego होता है यार. You get those egos after you have played so much cricket, both at the franchise and international level. And I think this arrangement kind of sits very well for Mumbai Indians. They get to retain 5 players. ये रविशंकर कुमार तो स्पोक्स पर्सन लगता है मेरे को रोहित शर्मा का, इसको सब मालूम है, सब मालूम है। अभी ये लिखा कि अभी ये बोला ईशान 99%, इसको ईशान का पूरा स्टोरी पता है।
Is he leaving? हाँ, अभी लिखा था वो, is he leaving 99%? साहिल की information is wrong, रविशंकर information में भी right।
1% क्यों नहीं, 1% क्यों छोड़ दिया,
100% क्यों नहीं है? जवाब रविशंकर जवाब देगा ना, आप ही को जवाब देना है।
अरे
रविशंकर नहीं है ना यहाँ पे।
लोग एमआई के बारे में अब तुम पूछ रहे हो, एमआई का किसको रिटेन करेगा? वो रिटेंशन रूल बनाया ही एमआई के लिए है। वो रिटेंशन रूल जो बनाया गया है, वो रूल बनाया ही गया है मुंबई इंडियंस के लिए। वो और किसी को वो रूल लागू ही नहीं होता है। कोई भी और फ्रेंचाइज 3 प्लेयर से ज्यादा रिटेन करने नहीं वाला। वो सिर्फ मुंबई इंडियंस के लिए है वो रूल, 4th प्लेयर और 5th प्लेयर वाला। वो क्योंकि इतने बड़े सुपरस्टार को और फ्रेंचाइज में है ही नहीं, सिर्फ एक ही के पास है।
Okay, so we've spoken about a few things today. Let's speak about one more thing. Let's see what is the new comment. This हाँ, ये देखो आ गया इनका जवाब। Decisions can be changed according to time. देखा वो 1% उन्होंने उसी के लिए छोड़ा हुआ है शायद। But yeah, it's been great having your comments today. But before we go, let's take a scorecard, which is a very important scorecard because the Indian women in the T20 World Cup, they made a comeback. India-Pakistan. India beat Pakistan, which is obviously a bit of a disappointment क्योंकि they lost the game to New Zealand. Yes, there it is. We beat Pakistan 105 for 8, 20 overs, and then Shefali and Harmanpreet got runs, 108 for 4. Arundhati Reddy got those 3 wickets. What have you made to this start in the T20 World Cup, Sahil? It's been disappointing. They needed to win the New Zealand game. Jis tarike ka, and we have a question on this as well. Why didn't we go for net run rate versus Pakistan? So let's get your opinion, Sahil, and then Gigi.
Very quickly, I won't kind of speak a lot on this because a lot has already been said on social media regarding our approach and how we looked very timid in that game against Pakistan. Clearly, bowlers put us in a very good position, and we had no business chasing it down in 18.5 overs. Whether it's Harman, whether it's Smriti, whether it's Shefali, whether it's Rodriguez, someone has to put their hand up and score that quick fire half century in a chase like that. Otherwise, there's no way you are advancing from that group. It's a very difficult group, and India have not done any favor by chasing the total down in 18.5 overs.
Gigi, we must beat Australia now. अगर हमें progress करना है तो there's no doubt about it, right?
Yes, definitely हमको ऑस्ट्रेलिया को बीट करना है अब, जो बहुत जरूरी है और बहुत मुश्किल काम होगा क्योंकि ऑस्ट्रेलिया से मोस्टली हम लोग हारे हैं, चाहे वो वर्ल्ड कप्स हो या वो नॉर्मल मैचेस हो। हालांकि हमने उनको बहुत क्लोज फाइट भी दी है और जैसा कि हरमन ने बोला, कैप्टन ने, बिफोर डिपार्चर ऑफ द इंडियन टीम, यू नो दैट, मैंने उनसे पूछा था कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया का थ्रेट तो हमेशा रहेगा ही, वो 6 टाइम वर्ल्ड चैंपियंस हैं। तो शी सेड कि यस, बट एक टीम है, उनको मालूम है कि अगर एक टीम है जो उनको हरा सकती है तो वो इंडिया है। So India, if on their day, if everything goes well for them, they can beat Australia. We can beat Australia, but it will be a big challenge. It will be very tough. And I think overall उनका, मुझे लगता है इंडियन टीम का आगे जाना बहुत मुश्किल है। और हरमन का तो मुझे दूसरा ये अभी देखना है कि भाई वो फिट होंगी कि नहीं आगे जाके, बिकॉज शी यू नो वॉकड आउट रिटायर्ड हर जस्ट, जबकि 2 रन शायद चाहिए थे विक्ट्री के लिए। तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा यू नो टॉपिक है संकट का और बहुत मतलब यू नो चिंताजनक विषय है भारतीय टीम के लिए। ओवरऑल परफॉर्मेंस तो डेफिनेटली अच्छी नहीं हुई है अभी तक। न्यूजीलैंड से परफॉर्मेंस वाज वेरी टिमिड एंड आल्सो दे वर कंप्लीटली आउटप्लेड एंड पाकिस्तान के अगेंस्ट नेट रन रेट उनको अच्छा चाहिए था, वो भी नहीं हो पाया। तो अपने आप में आई थिंक परफॉर्मेंस हैज लेफ्ट अ लॉट टू बी डिजायर्ड, बट लेट्स होप दे पिक देमसेल्व्स एंड यू नो आई थिंक थोड़ा सा मीडिया के पॉट शॉट्स भी थोड़े ज्यादा हो गए हैं। ये कहना कि वुमेन्स को सारी फैसिलिटीज मिल रही हैं और वो अच्छा परफॉर्म नहीं कर रही, ये थोड़ा गलत है। ठीक है, फैसिलिटीज को बाजू रख देते हैं, परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा होना चाहिए और अकाउंटेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए। बट ये कहना कि फैसिलिटीज नहीं मिलनी चाहिए या मिलनी चाहिए, दैट्स अ कंप्लीटली सेपरेट टॉपिक ऑल टुगेदर। फैसिलिटीज मिलनी चाहिए, इट्स एन इंडियन टीम फॉर गॉड सेक, okay, and whether it's men's or women's cricket, performance on the field is बनता है, और वो उसके ऊपर सवाल होने चाहिए कि भाई अगर जो प्लेयर्स हैं वहां पर वो क्यों नहीं परफॉर्म कर पा रहे हैं, व्हाट इज लैकिंग। यू हैव हैड 2 WPLs नाउ, बट हाउ मेनी प्लेयर्स हैज दोस 2 WPLs प्रोड्यूस्ड। सो वो सब चीजें डेफिनेटली सोचनी चाहिए उस पर, लेकिन अगेन वो टाइम लगेगा। इट्स नॉट लाइक टू कंपेयर इट टू मेंस क्रिकेट एंड द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ मेंस क्रिकेट इन इंडिया इज कंप्लीटली रॉन्ग। आई थिंक you should just look at it in isolation and look at the ways in which you can develop women's cricket in India. But let's hope for the best for now with what we have, and hope that they put it past. Obviously, I think even beating Sri Lanka will not be easy. If Sri Lanka is, I think, mostly in their group, so that's also going to be difficult.
They're playing Sri Lanka next. They're playing Sri Lanka next time.
Next, so we will be discussing day after tomorrow. So we will be discussing that game over the next couple of days, and हम लोग रोज बात करेंगे, रोज चर्चा करेंगे 6 से 7 वर्ल्ड क्रिकेट के बारे में. श्रीनी, just a closing comment from you. In terms of the women's World Cup, they are getting equal prize money, of course, because of the 3 billion that has been paid for the media rights. How do you see that? I mean, because obviously in terms of the eyeballs, are they bringing the eyeballs? Are they really bringing the eyeballs like a men's tournament does? How do you balance it? Yes, it's a very good thing that cricket is a sport which is giving equal prize money as a men's tournament. But is women's cricket bringing that money in as well, or would it bring that money as well?
No. I mean, see, don't try and make sense out of this. See, the moment you try to make any sense out of the economics of it, you'll be at sea. So, look at things individually for what they are. The money coming to the table and the money going away from the table has nothing to do with each other. तो उसको आप छोड़ ही दो. रही बात women's cricket की, nobody is in a hurry. These are merely, kind of largely rather, these are political statements, where you talk about pay parity, socially, kind of influencing statements. हम कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में जो देखते हैं वही हम आज बोल रहे हैं कि स्पोर्ट, what it teaches us, it like, kind of there are so many learnings across the thing. So वो सब हम social parameters को discuss जब करते हैं, so these things like pay parity, etc. make a lot of sense. On the field, when you go talking about the cricket that you're going to see, sport rather, forget cricket, sport, and what you are willing to, I am willing to pay 1,000 euros to watch Cristiano Ronaldo play. As simple as that. Why? Because he brings something to the table. So let's not get overawed by this. There are two kinds of people who influence sport now. People who understand the sport and follow it for what it is, and people who love the social commentary around the sport and want to be there because it makes a lot of noise. So, that is the clutter that we need to cut, the flab we need to cut and stick forward. And if you stick to the reality that's in front of you, then pay parity and all, it's all very good social commentary. On the field, no. Women's cricket will take another generation to start selling if they do the right thing starting now. Having said that, we must give it to the International Cricket Council for putting its best foot forward in trying to create the necessary engagement that women's cricket deserves. In that, they have tried to punch above their shoulders.
Yeah.
In that, I think a pretty good job has been done.
Well said. So thank you all for joining us. It's been a good start for us. We've got some comments and we hope that our audience keeps on joining us and audience keeps on growing. So मिलते हैं फिर से अगले कुछ दिनों के लिए, and we'll take this conversation forward. KSR, Gigi, Sahil, thank you so much for joining, and this is me, Chetan Narula, signing off, and we'll see all of you guys tomorrow once again. Cheers.
Bye guys.
Thank you.